nga bannayuganda bakyagenda mu maaso n'okulwana okuzza ensi yaabwe obujja okuva mikono gy'abannakyemalira okugizza mu bufuzi obw'emirembe ne butambulira ku nnono y'eggwanga oba n'okuwa constitution ya Uganda ekitiibwa. Bano basazeewo okulaba nti Muzeeyi Museveni bawandiika ekiwandiiko ekimujjamu obwesige nga bakisindika eri abo bekikwatako abalwanirizi b'eddembe ly'obuntu ebweru w'eggwanga mu nsi ezaakulaakulana zisobole okulaba nti zirina engeri gye zisobola okuyambako okufosinga omukulu ono okulizayininga oba okulekulira obukulembeze kubanga si mukulembeze asaanidde. Bano nno bawaddeyo ensonga 10 eziraga engeri Muzeeyi Museveni gy'atyoboddemu eddembe ly'obuntu nga ku nsonga ezo kwe babadde baagala basinzirire abakulu bali balabe nga bafoosinga omukulu ono okulekulira obukulembeze bw'eggwanga lino Uganda. Nga mu kino bano baagala ono alekulire ate walondebweyo gavumenti ey'emirembe egenda okuwulirira munnansi n'asobola okuba n'eddembe lye asobole okwetayiza mu nsi ye. Batandise bwe bati. Abaze ekiwandiiko kino bamuyita Milton Alimadi nga bw'atandika ekiwandiiko kino akitandise bw'ati: Here are 10 top reasons why the dictator of 35 years, General Yoweri Museveni, must resign so Ugandans can set up a transitional government of national unity with representatives from all the major political parties, FDC, DP, UPC, NUP, acceptable NRM members, not involved in human rights abuse, the People's Power Movement, and religious and civil society leaders to lead the country into the 2026 elections. Ensonga esooka agambye ati Dictator Museveni is not Uganda's legitimate president, having stolen the 2021 election from Bobi Wine, Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, the 2011 election from Kano Kizza Besigye, the 2016 election from Dr. Kizza Besigye. International election observers from the EU and the US concluded the 2016 vote was not free and fair or credible. He has ruled Uganda since Ronald Reagan was in the White House. Ne baleta ensonga ey'okubiri nga bagamba bati ensonga ey'okubiri egamba Dictator Museveni has no moral authority to govern after the whole world saw his naked brutality with the August 13th Arua atrocities by his Special Force Command SFC, which reports to his son General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, including the attacks on and the torture of MPs Bobi Wine, Francis Zake, Gerald Kaluhanga, Paulo Mwiru, Kasiyano Waduli, elected MP August 15th, and the former MP Michael Mabike, and dozens of their supporters. Bobi Wine's family friend and driver Yasini Kauma was murdered. Them Museveni presides over a regime whose fingerprints are all over assassinations of prominent Ugandans that have never been solved, dating back to the 1987 killing of Dr. Andrew Kayira. Other victims are Muhammad Kirumira, Ibrahim Abiriga, Andrew Kawes, Selina Nebanda, Nyakairima Alonda, Nobo Mayombo, James Kazin, Francis Ayume, and many others. General Museveni confined 2 million people in the northern part of Uganda in concentration camps between 1986 to 2006, causing the death of possibly 1 million people, as shown in the documentary A Brilliant Genocide. He has conducted several massacres including Kasese, Buganda, Kayunga, Mukula, and others. His invasions of Rwanda, Congo, and South Sudan caused the death of a combined millions of Africans. In 2005, the International Court of Justice (ICJ) awarded Congo with the $10 billion in reparations not yet paid for war crimes by Museveni's military. A post-Kabila regime in Congo will seek to enforce the judgment bankrupt Uganda. The ICT also launched an investigation into the war crimes, as reported in the Wall Street Journal on June 8, of 2006. For the time being, those investigations are blocked. This means Gen 7 can still be indicated by the ICT once the block is removed. This is why he has been attacking the ICC in recent years. He wants the ICT to prosecute Joseph Kony and Dominic Ongwen, but not Gen Museveni. Ensonga yokusatu egamba Gen Museveni has destroyed the process of democratization and delayed the rule of law in Uganda by abrogating the Constitution of Uganda. He first forced the removal of the presidential term limit from the Constitution in 2005. Then, in 2017, forced the removal of the age 75 limit for presidential candidates illegally, since he bribed the members of parliament and the outcome of a vote through bribe cannot be legal. Technically, the age limit still exists. Museveni also sent his SFC agents to beat members of parliament who resisted. As a result, MP Betty Namboze sustained serious injuries and is now semi-paralyzed. A post-Museveni government must restore both the term limit and the age limit. Ensonga yokuna egamba Dictator Museveni will cause continued deterioration of Uganda's economy as the EU and the US senators and members of the House of Representatives have condemned his regime for the atrocities committed in Arua and throughout the country. The EU declared in a statement that from now, financial development assistance to Uganda will depend on the rule of law and democracy, respect for human rights, respect for freedom of expression and the media, and respect for freedom of assembly. Ensonga yokutaano, Dictator Museveni has failed to deliver on economic development, and as a result, youth unemployment 85% in a country where more than 75% of the population is under the age of 35. There is no justification for such a failed ruler to remain in power. Ensonga ey'omukaaga, Dictator Museveni and his close family members, including Foreign Minister Sam Kutesa, are the most corrupt rulers Uganda have ever witnessed. Both are implicated in an ongoing case in the United States Federal Court, where they are named as having accepted bribes from a Hong Kong businessman on behalf of Chinese business interests. As a result, Kutesa now fears traveling to the US and did not show up for the United Nations General Assembly in September 2018. Kutesa also stole $30 million from the United Nations through a fraudulent contract when he did not reveal during the bidding process that he was the owner of Entebe handling services. The US contributes nearly 35% of the UN's budget, and the US may force Kutesa to return the stolen money. Gen Museveni and his officials has stolen foreign aid money, funds sent to help South Sudanese in Uganda, people who fled their country after Museveni's army invaded in December 2013, has been embezzled, and the funds dedicated to healthcare services, including for combating HIV, AIDS, malaria, and tuberculosis, have been embezzled. The Daily Monitor, the nation's leading independent newspaper, published an expose about dead bodies being left on hospital beds for several days because of understaffing. This is abominable. Meanwhile, even as Ugandans died due to lack of medicines in the hospitals, Gen Museveni flies around the world in a $55 million Gulfstream jet stolen from foreign aid money. as reported in UK media. Ensonga ey'omusanvu. Dictator Museveni has taken no action because he is a part of Kutesa's corrupt enterprises. As a result of the embezzlement, thefts and human rights abuses, the United Nations will be relocating its major East and Central African operations from Entebbe to Nairobi, Kenya. This will result in the loss of hundreds of jobs and several millions of dollars in related UN operations. Entebbe will remain with only a downgraded operation. Ensonga ey'omunaana. Dictator Museveni has engineered domestic turmoil by promoting land grabs throughout Uganda in order to seize land for himself, his family members, the military political elite, and foreign investors. The latest hotspot where inter-ethnic violence is being fueled by a regime in order to depopulate and seize the land, as in Apa in the northern part of Uganda. The pattern of displacement has occurred in the western part of the country and in Uganda and elsewhere all over the country. Ensonga ey'omwenda. Dictator Museveni is holding back Uganda's development relative to the country's neighbors, Kenya and Tanzania. Both Kenya and Tanzania have presidential term limits. These countries do not want full East African cooperation as long as Uganda is ruled by dictatorial president. As a result, Uganda's economy now lags badly behind Kenya's and Tanzania's. N'ensonga ey'ekkumi era nga yeesembyeyo mu nsonga zawadde. In 1986, when General Museveni seized power, he condemned African leaders for destroying their countries by staying too long in power. General Museveni must follow the criticism made by General Museveni himself and relinquish power. Bw'abadde amaliriza ekiwandiiko kye wansi n'ateekayo nooti ng'egamba, in addition to signing and sharing the petition, please also sign the areas ones calling on the Biden administration to cut off military assistance Dictator Museveni's regime. Eyo ye petition ekoleddwa omukulu Milton Alimadi bw'abadde amaliriza ensonga ezo ng'ayagala kulaba nti Uganda efuna obwenkanya eve mu nfuga ey'obwannakyemalira edde mu nfuga ey'awamu egasa buli munnayuganda esobola okweyagalira mu nsi ye. Awadde ensonga ze nno z'obuliddeko. Simanyi oba okusaba kwe kunaateekebwa mu nkola oba byayogedde nga bikomye bukomi mu biwandiiko, ffenna teyali amanyi kiddako. Katusabire omukulu oyo okusaba kwe kuyitemu abe nga addibwamu eri abo baawandiikidde ekiwandiiko kino.